World can proclaim LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month, to celebrate unrighteousness. They proclaim it. They proclaim it on the billboards. They proclaim it in the streets. Unrighteousness. So how is it that one can't speak righteousness? How is it one that how are they to say that this man is your conduct is detrimental to the team? I haven't been with the team. Right? I haven't been with the team because I've been rehabbing. So how is my conduct detrimental to the team? It was everything to me. I didn't know God. I didn't know Jesus when I came to the NBA. I was a fornicator. I was a pornography addict. And I used to get drunk. That's all I knew. And after a win, I felt good. After all those points, I felt good. I felt good. I felt like I had everything set out for me. Right? But as soon as that shut down for me, as soon as I didn't start, that's when God was humbling me. And he said he sat me down for a reason.
Basketball setting is, I'm born again, the Holy Spirit. I've been saved by Jesus Christ. No matter what, how many DMPs I don't get to play, or
who are around me, those are my family members betraying because of what I spoke. The truth. Saying that I'm losing my mind, saying that I'm crazy. These are my own family members. My blood. Man, he's psycho. He's this, he's that. Those are my own household. That's why my wife in here, and she not even texting me.
Yesterday turned into a full-blown situation around the NBA. Listen to this, because Jaden Ivy suddenly made headlines after reports dropped that he was officially waived by the Chicago Bulls, right after going live on social media and speaking his mind about Pride Month and the way it's being celebrated. He basically said he views it as unrighteous and questioned why people are being encouraged to support it. And hold up, you already know that kind of take was bound to explode online. And yeah, most of y'all probably saw the chaos unfold in real time. Now it gets messier because he later came out saying his own family started moving different toward him, claiming he hasn't even been in contact with his wife. And on top of that, older clips resurfaced, adding more fuel to the fire, while reports confirmed he's still getting his guaranteed $10 million from his contract. But let's be real, it's starting to look like his NBA future might be hanging by a thread. Then, Boosie jumped into the conversation and went off, calling the situation sad and arguing that freedom of speech feels like it's disappearing, saying people can't even joke about certain topics anymore without backlash. He went even further, claiming that the influence of certain communities has gotten out of hand and that straight men and women are losing their voice, insisting that anytime someone speaks up, it's instantly labeled as hate, even when, in his view, nobody is actually promoting hate. He doubled down, saying just because someone disagrees doesn't mean they're hateful. And you won't believe this. He argued that people are getting canceled way too easily for simply expressing personal beliefs. He even gave an example, saying you can't make a simple statement about your own preferences without it being twisted into something offensive toward an entire group. Then he flipped it back on the community, saying people within it should speak up when others get punished just for disagreeing, especially at a time when acceptance is supposedly at an all-time high. He questioned why there's silence when influence is stronger than ever, suggesting that a lot of powerful figures, corporations, leagues, even billionaires, are actually scared to speak openly on these issues. And yeah, he name-dropped Trump and Elon as the only major figures willing to publicly disagree, before asking a pointed question. How would you feel if your son lost millions just for speaking his beliefs, even if they were rooted in religion? He wrapped it up by saying he hopes Jaden Ivy still lands another contract to take care of his family despite everything that was said, stamping it with Boosie 100. Now look, there are multiple layers to unpack here, and first things first, let's not ignore the fact that he's still walking away with $10 million guaranteed, which, let's be honest, is serious money no matter how you slice it. This is his 4th or 5th year in the league, and he's already been dealing with injuries that have had him sidelined for the rest of the season, so his position wasn't exactly bulletproof to begin with. And here's the part people don't want to say out loud. If he was a top-tier, untouchable superstar, we're probably talking about a suspension instead of him getting cut, and that's just the reality of how this league operates. Because at the end of the day, this is the game. Yeah, you have freedom of speech, but you don't get freedom from consequences, and that's where a lot of people get it twisted. Now, me personally, I'm not even here to debate his beliefs, because if that's his religion and what he stands on, then that's his foundation, period. People should be able to hold their own beliefs, their own morals, their own principles. Girl, that's not the issue. The real question is where the line gets drawn, especially when those beliefs exist in a space where business, public image, and massive money are all on the line, and that's where things get complicated fast. He's not out here saying he wants to harm anybody or tear people down. Listen to this. He's framing it as, this is just my religious belief, and I don't see it as righteous. And from his perspective, he feels like people should be able to speak on that openly and actually have a real conversation about why. Now, here's where it gets tricky, and hold up, because this is the part people avoid. I can respect someone standing 10 toes down on what they believe, but at the same time, you're employed by the NBA, and that comes with rules, contracts, and expectations whether you like it or not. The league has active partnerships and business relationships with that same community, so let's not play clueless. You already know certain statements are going to clash with the brand, which means you either move strategic or you accept what comes with it. And let's keep it real, bro. We've literally seen this movie before with Kyrie Irving, so none of this should feel new at all. You absolutely have the right to speak your mind. You're not getting locked up for your opinion. But what you say can cost you your job, your endorsements, and your entire platform if it's seen as harmful or damaging. And when you break down what Boosie is really arguing, he's basically saying people should be allowed to disagree without being punished. But here's the reality. You're dealing with topics that people take personally, so emotions are always going to be high. Sure, you'll find some people who say, nah, I didn't take it as offensive, that's just his belief. But girl, that's not the majority reaction in situations like this. A lot of people don't want debate, they want silence. And you might not like that, but you can't pretend it doesn't exist. We can sit here and act confused all day, but you won't believe this. That's literally how the system operates right now, and ignoring it just makes you look unprepared. The only way you really move freely in that kind of environment is if you're untouchable at the top, where your talent outweighs the controversy and the league needs you more than you need them. And yeah, hopefully Jaden lands on his feet after all this, but when you actually listen to him fully, there's a deeper layer to his story that people aren't even talking about. He says he's changed, found God, and turned his life around after going through a phase of partying, drinking, and trying to fit in, claiming that his faith is what pulled him out of that space. And I'm not about to sit here and tell someone they're wrong for finding purpose or religion. That's between him and God, especially when I believe in that myself. But the real debate is how that belief shows up in a public, business-driven space like the NBA. So now it really comes down to this. Are you looking at a man standing firm on his principles, or someone who misread the room and underestimated the consequences tied to his position? At the end of the day, this whole situation comes down to understanding the game, because belief is one thing, but timing, awareness, and positioning, that's a whole different level. You can stand on your beliefs all day, no question, but once you're tied to an organization like the NBA, you're also tied to their rules, their partnerships, and millions of dollars on the line. We've already seen how this plays out with players like Kyrie Irving. Freedom of speech is real, but the consequences that follow are just as real, if not louder. So now the real question is simple. Was it worth it for him to stand on that? Or did he just gamble away his career without fully thinking it through?